A brief history of the Pliusian Empire, Goblin Invasion, development of the Unified Kingdom, fractured alliances, and the First Arbiter. What is currently known as the Pliusian Empire was formerly the realm of Unified Kingdoms, located within the continent of Akast. The Unified Kingdom itself began as a collection of 5 sovereign kingdoms: Northern Realms, Eastmount, West Shore, Southern Watch, and Central Spire, each ruled over by a regent born of a great noble house. The Northern Realm was ruled over by the descendants of the House of Akerstrom. In Eastmount, House Pliusian had held the regency for centuries. West Shore had been guided by the steady governance of House Klerkagnes. House Grashland forged the realm of Southwatch through negotiations with traditional clan leaders. And in Central Spire, House Reinhaust held onto power through strength and militaristic prowess. The origins of the Unified Kingdoms began in the year 4629, according to the Divine Accounting, when the Goblin Invasions began. Rumored to be supported by the Kingdom of Erenvel, the Goblins pushed into Eastmount and the Northern Realm in an effort to regain ancient tribal lands. It is supposed that the lords of Erenvel knew that the Goblins' cause was hopeless, but aligned with the Horde for the purpose of weakening the defenses of the regions. The onslaught of Goblin armies was unrelenting, and very quickly the divided forces of Eastmount and the Northern Realm were routed. Fearing that the Goblin hordes would push deeper into the region, the sovereign regents agreed to an accord of realm unity. Central Spire, West Shore, and Southern Watch placed their military forces under the command of Corporan Plaxius, Lord Regent of Eastmount. The accord was successful, and the Goblin War ended in 4635 according to the Divine Accounting. The Goblin hordes were pushed past the borders of Eastmount and the Northern Realms. Peace within the kingdom was restored, the military accord was abandoned, and the regents of the great houses again declared the divine sovereignty. Unfortunately, ancient feuds between the great noble houses began to re-emerge as the Lord Regents returned their attention to long-standing disagreements over trade routes and royal privileges. When the kingdoms of Northern Realm and Eastmount took up arms against one another over the control of the Great Northern Pass, any semblance of goodwill which was forged during the Goblin Wars unraveled. The greater noble houses began to forge private alliances and amass armies against their former allies. Fearing that the realm was soon to be plunged into yet another war, House Grashland, Lord Regents of the Southern Watch, sent emissaries to the Lord of West Shore, Central Spire, Eastmount, and the Northern Realms. Victor Grashland pleaded for a parley with the other Lord Regents, which was to occur at the city of Kiathias, one of the largest cities located on the border of West Shore, Central Spire, and the Southern Watch. Surprisingly, all of the Lord Regents agreed to participate in the Great Council. However, suspicions remained, and the great noble houses sent emissaries, or royal hostages, to each other kingdom as an insurance of proper conduct during the council. The first Great Council was held in 4640, according to Divine Accounting, and lasted 1 year. During the council, a new treaty of defense was written and signed by each of the Lord Regents. The rule of justice decreed that Lord Regents of the great noble houses had individual sovereignty within their borders. However, the question remained on how to handle disagreements that arose between regents of separate kingdoms. While the Great Council was proving effective in resolving the current conflicts, the process and time required to convene such a council made it unacceptable for resolving future affairs of states. The council agreed that a new arrangement needed to be created for the stability of the region. While it is unclear who first proposed the solution, it is evident that Lord Corporan of the Greater Noble House Plaxius was the primary proponent for the development of an imperial republic. According to this proposal, the greater noble houses would select one of the Lord Regents to act as a royal arbiter. To ease conflicts between kingdoms, noble houses could appeal to the royal arbiter for an imperial decree. The royal decree had no power within a specific realm, but would be considered the final arbitration for disagreements between sovereigns. An imperial decree could be rescinded only by the convening of another Great Council. The royal arbiter could be removed through a similar process. At the culmination of the Great Council, Lord Regent Copern from the House Plaxius of Eastmount was selected as the first royal imperial arbiter of the unified kingdoms. Unfortunately, the reign of the first royal arbiter was short-lived, as a plague broke out in 4645 according to the divine accounting. Despite the best efforts of clerics, the plague killed thousands of individuals. Neither noble house nor peasant class was spared. Lord Regent and Imperial Arbiter Copern Plaxius died in the first year of the plague. A second Great Council could not be convened due to the pandemic, so the Lord Regents of the realms granted Lord Aris Plaxius the title of Royal Arbiter via the emissaries. Upon his appointment, Lord Regent Aris Plaxius changed the title from Royal Arbiter to Emperor, mirroring the titles held by nobles in other regions. Due to concerns of the plague, no greater noble house raised an objection to the change in title. The plague came to an end rather abruptly, in the second month of 4647, according to divine accounting.